Good morning. We are going to get right into it. Okay, so currently I am on the weekly chart right here, weekly. So I'm taking a look at how we closed. We closed here, and you could see here, this was Friday, end of Friday's candle here. And this was week prior. Week prior, I knew there was a lot of strength because we closed above this 200 MA. And then, of course, we picked up last week and formed a pretty nice candle here. We closed above 395.17 here, which definitely signals strength. I'm looking at the previous candle here. You see this big candle here, and then when it got above when it closed above the 395, like it did here, it created this continuation doji, and then it continued up here. So it'll be nice to see what this candle, what this week's candle creates. But right now, I do see a lot of strength. If you can see here, we opened up, down here, but we're still, pre-market, we're still right here tipping on this 400 here. So we closed at 398.61, and we're right here on top of it. Yeah. 398. Actually, let me try and get this, if I can get it accurate. Sorry, 398.4. It hit a high here of 399. But it closed at 398.4. And I kept saying, look out for the 399, because the 399 is a pretty tough resistance. We hit a high of 399. And we have been consolidating between 393-ish, 399 here. Like we hit this high of 398.4, came all the way back down to 393, then came up to 398, hit a high of 399, and that's how we closed. All right. So I just wanted to take a look at the closing candles there. All right, so this is the daily here. You can kind of see this W being drawn right here at this 200 MA. This is 399 that I'm like warning everybody about, but we got so much strength. Definitely a lot of potential to burst through. I mean, based on price action here, we're trying to push through it. I mean, this weekly candle that closed on Friday, pretty strong, showing a lot of bullish momentum. Definitely a bullish double bottom pattern that was created, also a higher low. This is low, higher, higher. So that's what I'm seeing here. A low, higher low. Also, you have 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection. This is kind of like coming on your 4th one. Well, let's count this high of 460. We're going to count the rejections at the 200 MA. So this was 1 rejection at the 200 MA, 2 rejection at the 200 MA. 3 and 4. I guess 1 here, rejected below it. Rejected 200 MA here, rejected 200 MA. We're coming up on the 200 MA again. But the difference is, I guess this isn't a strong double bottom because this is higher and this is lower. But I like the fact that this is lower and this is higher. So this is a pretty W. I did draw these zones because this is where we're pretty much consolidating at while we're zoning in. So when we trade, and this is how I tell my team, depending on the volume, when market opens, because volume also plays a very significant part in how these stocks move. So right now, you can see we're opening up around this area. If there's a lot of strength, we're going to take it to the next resistance. The next resistance is about 403.7. If it does reject, then right now we're going to be heading back down here. Let's get it accurate. Right here, let's get an accurate support, which is about And it was like that 393-ish area. Yeah, about 393.09. You see how it's holding here. The resistance, I don't think they're going to go too far. I think the ATR on SPY is like $6 or $7, but from $3.99 to about $4.03, that's about $4. Because I wouldn't push it too much. I mean, these lower time frames are getting, they're becoming very overbought. So we just have to be careful here, because even if we burst through, I don't think we're going to get too far ahead, even if we bust through 399. So we do have to be careful for that, because this is a significant resistance. I didn't want to go too far up. Plus, as you see, previous history, we've been rejecting in these areas here. So we have to be careful. 1 hour here. It doesn't really show strong bullish momentum on the RSI, because I don't really see a bullish pattern forming. But based on price action, we're pretty strong here. You could see here that since we broke out of this area, this was the area on the daily where we were consolidating for like 12 or 13 days around here, and then we broke out. So we broke out here, we created a pull. I think we could possibly be working on creating a flag here. So these are the days of consolidation. Right now you have the pull that starts here, you go all the way up, and this is the flag. Remember, the top of the flag is the resistance area. The bottom of the flag is the support. So you could see how it's kind of been consolidating between 393, 399. Well, it got a high of 399s, we could say, but this is the resistance area. So we'll keep it at the top here. But if it breaks out, it's taking it to the next level here at 403. It could just consolidate between here. I mean, it could fall through support too. We are at a significant level where there could be a hard rejection, so we just got to be careful. But we can see what the volume is when the market opens, and as long as we have these zones drawn, we know exactly where to take this. So this is, we'll say resistance here. Let's do it here. Let's do 398.6 here. Okay. So right now, this is where we're at. If we open up and we still have a lot of strong volume, and we head up, we're taking it to the next resistance at 403.65. If we reject here and we can't break through, we're taking it to 393.3. Even though we're strong, again, this is where the 200 MA sits on the daily. So we do have to take this into consideration. I mean, very bullish here on the daily overall. 4 hour, some strength here, as you see, but we're coming into overbought, so we do have to be careful. I do see a potential of getting to the next resistance level, but on the flip side, because it's a very significant resistance area on the daily, we got to take that into consideration. So if it rejects here, our next support is 393.1. And as you can see here, that's kind of what happened the last few days on like Thursday and Friday. Once we got to 393, we took it back to 399, rejected, came back down, brought it back up. So if it rejects again, that's quite normal, because it could potentially consolidate in this area for some time before it breaks above or falls below. We got to anticipate both directions either way. Overall, though, like I said, bulls are very strong. They are in control right now. And as you see, we had a beautiful candle that closed last week. And if you guys have been following my channel, you can see where with last Friday's close, because we closed above that 200 MA and created that reversal candlestick, I knew we had a lot of momentum. So I've been team bulls for at least the last week now. And as long as we continue this momentum, and we continue to keep going up and creating these bullish patterns, I'm still going to be team bulls. Even if we are at significant areas where we could potentially reject, that you definitely want to keep in mind. But price action right now is telling us that we still got more room to go. I mean, look at this. We got low, higher, and even higher here. We're above the 200 MA on the hourly, which is signaling a lot of strength here. We've already passed the 200 MA here on the 4-hour. We're holding it beautifully. We are, the only thing, like I said, I would keep in mind is we're coming up on the 200 MA on the daily. And if you look at previous history, we've been rejecting. We come up above it a little bit. Once we get above it, bam. Okay, so we just got to keep that in mind. But the difference I see now is these beautiful bullish reversal patterns forming right now. And we've had numerous rejections. And if anybody ever knows how that works, typically you'll have 3 to 4 rejections before a breakout. Okay, so, and also on the monthly, we've been consolidating for about, I don't know, 7, 8 months or 9 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months here. We've been consolidating for 9 months. So if we do break above, you know, these areas, then that's a sign that we want to continue to move forward, because we've been pulling back now for about 1.5 years. All right, let's take a look at SQQQ, and then I'm going to wrap this up this morning, just to make sure that we're in alignment here, because I want to see the bears pretty strong here in SQQQ, which they are. I mean, on the daily, look at this. You had all of this bearish momentum. We lost it. I mean, once we lost the bottom of this flag, I knew it was a done deal for them. We were pretty much breaking down. Even in this, if you guys been paying attention to my videos, even this candle that was created, it didn't fool me, because it still closed below the bottom of this flag, because once it fell through, this flag here became resistance. So the fact that we opened up and closed below the, you know, below it, it still showed me, okay, yeah, you had a little tug of war here, and the buyers kind of won a little bit that day, but it's not enough, because it's still below this area here, which was about 52.5. Anyway, we tried to get up on it. We rejected it, came back down, fell through this support, and then fell below the 200 MA. Once we fell below the 200 MA, I knew it was trash. Then we tried to get back above it. This level became resistance, closed below the 200 MA, opened up and closed below 200 MA. So now we're here at 46.07, still pointing down, still very weak. And we closed here 45.76. Yeah, we're below. Yeah, we could, if we don't have no momentum before the market opens at 9:30, because I'm on EST time, it's definitely signs that we want to keep going down even further. I mean, if that's the case, SPY's going to break through that 399 level, take it to the next resistance. Let me see if I see any signs that they want to cover. I mean, these are pretty big bearish candles here. And you can see this is the 4-hour. This 4-hour wants to open up below this level here. If we stay below this level here, this 46.14, yeah, that's signs that we're going to keep going down. Yeah, I'm showing it's a lot of heavy bearish momentum with SQQQ. Like you can even see here. I mean, we're creating higher lows. Like this is a high, higher low. I mean, I'm sorry, lower lows rather. Sorry. This is a low, lower low, low, even lower. Yeah. Still a lot of bearish momentum in the market, even though these time frames are oversold and the time frames with the bulls are overbought. Price action is still telling us that bears are in control with SQQQ and bulls still have control with equities. We just have to be careful when we trade today, because we have to pay attention to the volume. All right, so like what I like to do is I like to create my zones. So again, if we pass through this right now, this is where we're at. If we push above, we're going to take it to the next resistance. If we reject it here, we'll take it to the next support. If we fall through this support, we just create the next level down, because remember, support and resistance recalculates as the market moves. Support and resistance recalculates as the market moves. So if you get to the point where you can identify your support and resistance levels, then that does make trading a lot easier for you because you have your targets for your entry and exit. Like for me, I wouldn't get in, here. If it rejects here, I would wait for it to get here. If it doesn't reject here and it pushes above, I would wait for it to get here because this would be your perfect opportunity for puts. This would be your perfect opportunity for calls. Okay, but you have to wait for direction. Okay, right now we're at the 399-ish area. Definitely possible rejection here. But also because we have so much strength, I would not be surprised if we busted through and took it to the next resistance. So that's why I drew the next resistance up here and not the next support down here because we're too strong. If we were bearish, I would be drawing the next support here. But right now, I think that with the way it looks, we want to head up even though we're overbought, even though we're at a significant resistance. Price action is just telling me that we're very strong right now, okay? All right, well, I hope this helps everyone. You guys all have a good morning.